Hello! Welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be tackling reupholstering my dress form. So, just for some background before we get into things, I had gotten this dress form from my cousin a couple years back. Not really too sure what they were using it for, but she was going to be throwing it out, so I decided to take it in. I wasn't really too bothered by what it looked like, so I just cleaned it up to the best of my ability, and then just used it as was. I mean, it's a working adjustable dress form, so I was just really happy to have one. Up until this point, I never really displayed any of my creations or clothes on it for anyone else to see, so the color of it didn't really bother me. But as you'll see later, the bright red color ended up being a little too much for me after a while, and it ended up contrasting anything I'd make, so I decided to just do something about it. Plus, there were a couple of obvious marks across the body that were bothering me. So I came to the obvious conclusion: reupholster the entire thing. Let's do this. First things first, unfortunately, I wasn't really able to get any good shots of my dress form prior to actually starting, so please excuse the horribly cropped and awkward short clips. And the form itself is essentially just a basic expandable mannequin built on a metal rod with a plastic base. Luckily enough though, all the knobs turned properly, so there was no problem there. So I'm not entirely sure what it was being used for previously, but when I had gotten it, there were a couple blemishes on the surface, which can be noted along the chest, the shoulders, and the upper and lower back areas. Looking closer, I do believe that some of these spots are just dried glue, likely fabric glue from maybe trying to decorate the model, who really knows. Now, after examining the entire model, I found that the red covering on the dress form was extremely difficult to fully remove cleanly. So I just decided to leave it be and just move on to cover the entire fabric, so after the fact, none of it can be seen anyways. The fabric I used to cover the entire form is this white of what I believe is flannel. It was previously used as a bed sheet, but wasn't going to be used anymore, so I decided to make some use of it. Unfortunately, I also didn't manage to catch any footage of me actually assembling and attaching the cloth onto the model, just due to the crazy amounts of moving and the awkward positions that I had to shift the form in just to reach certain areas. But in terms of the assembly itself, I'd essentially just cut sizable portions of the fabric and placed them on each of the sections of the form. And I'd ensure that there is about 1 to 2 inches excess along all the sides. Then I just wrap the fabric around the edges of each section and adjust it, just to make sure that the entire section is fully covered and you don't see any red. Then I'd pin the entire piece down and start with one side of the section and hand sew in the folded over edge onto the red fabric that was already there. I will say though, given the awkward angle of the pole in the center and the fact that I was sewing into the dress form from the outside in, the resulting sewing is rather ugly. But it works, and honestly that's all I was going for with this project. So after getting all the fabric fully attached and placed, I just had the final step of tucking in all the remaining loose ends, namely around the neck area. Luckily this area was just attached with screws, so I just went around and unscrewed everything, getting the plastic covering off. In order to compensate for the screw holes, I made a small piercing using my scissors and made small cuts in an X shape, and then quickly tucked in all the excess fabric to make sure all the holes lined up. And after all that, here it is, the final dress form. It's definitely not perfect, and I could have gone a step further and tried to remove the initial red cloth covering, but this works well. And it's now been a couple of months since doing this, and I have to say, it's holding up pretty well, and I'm really happy about the change in color and just the overall shift. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and maybe you can take some inspiration for your own dress forms if you wish. Let me know what you think, and stay groovy.